In the soft morning light of a chic urban salon, the camera glides along a row of styling stations, each framed by a gleaming mirror that quietly captures four very different women at the threshold of transformation. At one station, a young woman with cascading, chestnut curls gingerly flips through a vintage vinyl cover, her fingers brushing through those familiar locks as if bidding them goodbye. At the next, a sharp-jawed professional in a sleek asymmetrical bob pauses mid-email scroll to tug thoughtfully at a stray strand. Nearby, a buzz-cut artist shares a laugh with her stylist as they swirl vibrant dye in a bowl, her confident grin undercutting any notion of fear. While an elegant woman with silver ringlets sips espresso, eyes distant, her reflection betraying memories only she can see. A hushed indie melody underscores the gentle hum of clippers warming up and scissors clicking open, the women's synchronized exhalations, one crisp, one hesitant, one resolute, one calm, ripple through the salon like a collective heartbeat. Clippers buzz to life, hands hover over hair with delicate precision, and each woman's gaze locks on her mirror image, revealing beneath the surface a blend of anticipation, courage, and tender vulnerability. As the camera settles on the long mirror's center pane, their four reflections converge into a single moment of shared resolve, and the unexpected chime of the salon door signals that change has arrived. A pair of scissors clicks open at the next station, where the young woman with chestnut curls, Ella, inhales sharply as her stylist gently drapes a black cape around her shoulders. She catches her own eye in the mirror, lips pressed together, and for a moment the hairstylist's metallic tools glitter menacingly in the soft light. A bead of sweat runs down Ella's temple. She tilts her head, watching the reflection of a distant memory flicker behind her gaze. The buzz of clippers grows louder as the buzz-cut artist, Maya, rises from her chair, runs her hand over the short stubble that frames her skull, and exchanges a conspiratorial wink with her stylist. "Ready?" the stylist asks, and Maya nods, fingertips tracing the curve of her ear before pressing them to her chest, as if to feel her own heartbeat. Nearby, the woman with silver ringlets, Vivian, sets down her espresso, the porcelain cup chiming softly against the marble counter. She closes her eyes, inhaling the bitter aroma of coffee and the sweet, floral scent of shampoo wafting from the wash basin. Soft indie chords swell as the stylists each begin their work. The scissors glide through Ella's curls with a rhythmic snip. The clippers hum against Maya's fade. A single razor stroke kisses Vivian's nape, and a careful shaving cream lather encases Nina's sleek angles. Tiny hairs drift through the air like snowflakes, settling on the cape of the woman next door, on the glossy floor, and finally floating into the sunlight spilling through the window. With each gentle stroke of the blade, their reflections shift, locks vanish, skin is revealed, and in their place, a new sense of self emerges. The salon door chime rings again, an echo of possibility, and as the scene fades, we sense these four women poised on the brink of a transformation that will ripple far beyond this mirrored room. A single curl drifts to the floor, catching the late afternoon sunlight in a brief, golden flash as Ella finally tips her chin up and lets the stylist sweep away the rest of her chestnut waves. She closes her eyes, and for an instant you almost hear her pulse, a soft thrum echoing in the suddenly hushed salon. Beside her, Nina exhales so quietly it might have been the salon's air conditioning, her phone forgotten on the countertop as the shaving cream is smoothed into a precise line at her temple. When the razor kisses her skin, her lips part in a silent gasp, and you glimpse the strength in her trembling jaw. Across the room, Maya's eyes remain fixed on her reflection even as the clippers fall silent, her stylist stepping back to admire the clean arc of her skull. Maya's steady smile braids courage into every inch of that bare skin. Vivian, the last, tilts her head into the stylist's hands. Each gentle razor stroke seems to carve away decades of habit, and when she finally pulls the mirror around to show herself, her silver ringleted reflection is replaced by a soft glow, as if the light itself approves of her decision. The salon's indie soundtrack softly crescendos, mingling with the light chatter of other patrons, clink of scissors, muted laughter, the rustle of salon capes. And in that collective hum there's an unspoken acknowledgement, a shared rite of passage unfolding here. The camera drifts back to the entrance just as the door chimes again, and we watch these four women lift their heads, fingertips brushing new, smooth scalps with wonder, eyes meeting in a chorus of recognition. It's in that lingering moment, before they replace the mirror and step off the salon floor, that their separate stories begin to converge in earnest, the first chapter of transformation now complete. As the last tumble of hair drifts to the floor, the four women rise simultaneously from their chairs, each lifting a finger to tentatively stroke her newly exposed scalp. Ella's fingers splay wide as she savors the cool air. Nina traces the sharp line at her temple with a small, triumphant grin. Maya presses her palm flat and tilts her head in approval. And Vivian tilts her chin skyward, eyes closed as if greeting a long-lost self. Behind them, the stylists exchange respectful nods, having borne witness to something sacred and irreversible. The salon's indie track softens, replaced by the low hum of conversation. Other clients whispering congratulations, stylists readying towels and fresh capes. The steam from the coffee station curling into the salon's vaulted ceiling. In a single, unspoken moment of solidarity, the four women gather before the mirror's expanse. Their reflections no longer fragmented by station borders but unified in a single frame of bald heads and bright eyes. With a final collective breath, a quiet exhale of release and resolve, they exchange warm smiles before turning away from the mirrors. Ella picks up her phone to capture this instant. Nina slips her hair tie aside with a gentle shrug. Maya tousles her stubble with playful confidence. And Vivian adjusts her scarf, the edges framing her smooth scalp like a crown. As they step toward the salon's exit, the camera lingers on the swept floor where curls lie in delicate arcs, a silent testament to the courage it takes to let go, and to the strength found in renewal. Outside the salon's glass doors, the late afternoon sky washes the sidewalk in honeyed light as the four women step into the bustling city street, their hands brushing absent-mindedly over newly bare scalps. Ella pauses at a cafe window, leaning close to read her own reflection, brow furrowed one moment, then smoothing into a soft, triumphant smile as pedestrians pass by without a second glance. Nina adjusts the collar of her coat, the crisp line of her shave now peeking out beneath the fabric. She breathes deeply, as if inhaling a fresh start, and her eyes catch Ella's, sharing an unspoken nod of camaraderie. Maya tilts her head back to feel the sun's warmth on her scalp, then reaches up to tap her phone's screen, sending a quick, "Just did it," selfie to her friends. Vivian, hands nestled in her pockets, stares upward at a wrought iron street lamp, as if greeting an old friend, her posture steadied by the quiet assurance she finds in this small but radical act. As traffic hums around them and the city's pulse nudges forward, their four silhouettes merge into a single frame. Women who've shed more than hair, poised now to walk boldly into whatever comes next. As they step onto the sun-washed sidewalk, the echo of clippers still trembles in their ears, and the world around them seems both unchanged and entirely new. Ella pauses by a shop window, fingers splayed against her smooth scalp as she studies her own fierce reflection. What was once a cascade of curls is now a stark crown of possibility, and her eyes shine with a mixture of astonishment and delight. Nina, standing beside her, brushes her palm over the sharp line at her temple, then tilts her head, as if weighing the wind itself against her newly revealed skin. The crispness of the afternoon air feels electric against her bare flesh, stirring an urge to lean into this fresh beginning. Maya, ever the boldest, lifts her chin and closes her eyes, letting the sun's warmth bathe her entire head in golden light, a silent smile curving across her lips as if she's discovered a secret only she could know. Vivian, more reserved but no less transformed, traces the outline of her jaw with a gentle fingertip, each stroke a promise to herself that she will carry this moment of liberation forward. Around them, the city hums on, cars drift by, strangers pass without notice, but these four women carry a private radiance, a shared truth reflected between them in knowing glances. In that charged silence, they prepare to return to their lives, each step resonating with newfound freedom, each heartbeat echoing the courage it took to cast aside the familiar and embrace who they truly are. As the four women drift toward the salon's exit, the noise of the street spills in, car horns, distant laughter, the rumble of a city that hasn't noticed their metamorphosis. And for a moment they linger in the threshold, each caught between the intimacy of transformation and the expanse of the world beyond. Ella steps out first, pausing to let the door's amber light wash over her scalp like a benediction, then turns back with a soft smile for the others. Nina follows, fingertips brushing the collar of her coat as if sealing in this moment of change, and together they watch Maya tilt her chin to the sky before Vivian, the most reserved, tucks one hand into her pocket and nods, eyes bright with quiet conviction. Behind them, the salon's mirrored wall reflects only empty chairs and drifting curls, Evidence that this space holds a new story now, one of courage shared and identities reborn. As the door swings closed and the salon's bustle resumes its ordinary rhythm, these four women step into the afternoon sun, their bald heads catching its glow, leaving behind both hair and hesitation, ready to write the next chapter of their lives.